So I am the Executive Vice Lead and Senko and Inclusion at Cherry Tree Academy in Marham. We've got 2 academies. We are on an REF base. We are our own little academy trust.
So how about the student that we've been working with?
They have an EHCP. He's been with us since reception. There are different bits and pieces of family history, which meant that we knew that from reception we would need to put quite a high level of support in. We have lots and lots of little side-on spaces that children can learn in if they can't learn in the full class. We've got a non-class-based pastoral worker at both schools. The one at the juniors is a ex-social worker, so we bring in expertise of people and use them a lot. We run attention autism, brick therapy, IDL, but most of the time our children are in the classroom. So where there are interventions that are more autism based, sensory based, then obviously, yes, children do come out of the classroom, but where they are learning based, we try and keep them. We use a lot of scaffolding. We use the I do, we do, you do kind of system, and children are supported in the classroom. In terms of this young gentleman, that worked well during reception, worked well during year 1. Year 2, COVID hit, and home learning did not work. He did not access anything we were sending home. I was his class teacher at the time. We were going through the process of diagnosis at that point as well. So I just used to do weekly online half-an-hour meetings with him where I would just talk to him. It was just, we're not going to do any learning. He didn't think he was doing any learning. We're just going to have a chat. So that helped. Year 3 was relatively successful, I think, because COVID, we'd been at home. We didn't like that. Yeah. So coming back into school, he's very, very social, lots of friends, loves being around his peers, loves being with people, but literally was just like having him back, and it was great. Year 4, kept the same teacher, kept the same support staff. We could see things were starting to go a little bit awry the autumn term of year 4, where he was quite poorly at the thought of coming to school. However, when he was in school, when he was in the classroom, you wouldn't have known that there was anything going on. By the time we got into kind of second half of the spring term of year 4, attendance was sitting at about 55%, tended to not be in the morning. Mum worked for us in the kitchen, so she'd get him in at kind of lunchtime when she came to work, and then he'd get his afternoon mark. So that's where his kind of 50% sat at. Did an emergency EHCP review in May because things weren't working, looked at the possibility of looking at a kind of trauma-informed specialist. Then he got his diagnosis and they said no. Summer term, his attendance was 12.5%. He was coming in for lunchtimes, so that there was still the social element, and that was it. We did part-time timetables. We met with him to talk about how they could work. We went into the home and did learning in the home with him. That wasn't sustainable. From returning to school in September, he stopped leaving the house. He didn't leave his bedroom if he didn't have to. He didn't sleep. It escalated very quickly. We did another emergency review in November. That was where we decided that coming back to school, the EHCP coordinator came to that review and just went, we did it online. And she was like, he ain't coming back to school, which is when I then engaged with you guys and said, actually, if we've now made the decision that he's not going to come back to school, he's academically able, he's not behind. He would be if we didn't do something.